your girl, Israelite Spiritual Queen today, and I am here to bring you another Divinely message. Now, I do want to apologize for Sunday's Divinely Guided message not being put up, and I know I got a lot of inboxes and emails about, where is the Divinely Guided message, and I just want to say this, that, I got offered for a little getaway, and, we all know how it is when we need to take a break from this 3D reality. So I decided to take a little break. I am fully back and recharged with today's message. I want to thank my current subscribers. I want to thank any new subscribers. And if you have landed on this message, it's because you have been divinely guided here to hear this message. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about spiritual warfare, okay? Now, I did do a video on Facebook previously about spiritual warfare and psychic attacks, but today I just want to talk a little bit about spiritual warfare, my experiences, how to know when you are under spiritual warfare attack, and how to deal with them. It's not easy at all. I'm not even gonna say always. It's not easy at all dealing with the enemy. Okay, trust me, I know. I'm currently dealing with the enemy, and it can be hard sometimes, and sometimes we don't know how to deal with it and cope with it. So just a little bit about my background of spiritual warfare. Well, first of all, I want to say this. My life path is to help other people on their spiritual journey. I am here and have been placed in this lifetime to assist those who are looking for spiritual counsel, to help those into the what is the word I'm looking? I can't talk today. Help guide them to the divine lights in their life and help them through tough areas of their life by applying spiritual counsel. Okay, that is my life purpose. And when you have that type of purpose in this lifetime, in your lifetime period, the enemy does not like that. Okay, because we have other people who have purposes and they're being distracted from their path, and the enemy is throwing different things at them to distract them from the bigger and the higher purpose. Okay, so with that just being said, everybody that I help, anybody that I help that has a purpose, which everyone has purpose, but I do believe some have higher purposes than others, okay? So when I am helping people that have purposes that the enemy is trying to deter from their journey and their path, every time I help someone, the enemy comes at me. Okay, the enemy would throw different things and try to attack my family in different ways. And if the door is open, and if you are not living by the spiritual laws, and the door is cracked open for the enemy, he will be able to get in. Okay, so I do want to say that. Now, being as though I know how the enemy works and how the spiritual attacks work when I'm helping someone, what I would do to keep myself protected, I will fast, okay? And I want to tell you about a recent experience that I just currently had not too long ago. And I don't want to, put too much of it out there because this is this person's business, but just a little bit about it. There was someone who actually, he was a young man who lived a life, not a very good life, the life of the streets, okay? And he was divinely guided to contact me. And at first, I'm just like, I'm not there. I don't deal with those type of people anymore. I'm like, everyone knows that I'm very stingy with my energy. I only use my energy with those who really need it, or I place myself around like-minded individuals like myself. So because I am an empath and I have to protect myself. Okay, and that goes with spiritual attacks too, because you never know who is sent into your life to deter you from your purpose. So you have to be very careful of who you allow into your life. And when he contacted me, I'm just like, oh, well, this is not right. This, something is right. Now, why? And I'm asking the Most High, and I'm asking my angels and my spirit guides, why is this person contacting me? So I continue to talk to him. And when he told me something that happened in his life, okay, mind you, he just recently came home about 6 months ago and was trying to do the right thing, taking his children, a single father, just doing the right thing. And we know how, young men who get caught up in the system, when they come home, it's very hard for them, So I'm not the type of person to judge anybody and what they're doing. I'm not. That's just not me. Everyone has their reasons of why they do what they do, and that's their business. It's not my place to judge anybody, and I don't believe it's anybody's place to judge anybody, because you don't know what that person is going through. So make a long story short, he went through something with some people, and it completely took him off of his path, and he wanted to go a different route to handle the situation. When he told me what happened to him and how he was attacked, I automatically knew that he was under spiritual warfare, because when you are trying to do the right thing in your life, and when you are trying to stay on the right path, and something dramatic is thrown into your path, okay, to deter you from what you are trying to do, that is the enemy, and that is spiritual attack. And a lot of us who are not familiar with spiritual attacks in the spiritual realm, and if you don't know how it works, everything that we see here in the 3D is only 3D. Everything is being handled by spirit. Everything is spiritual. And see, that's what a lot of people need to understand, that everything is spiritual. We are at war with God's kingdom against Satan's kingdom. Okay? And they are fighting for souls. And we can't see it, but that is going on right now. So this young man who was trying to change his life, who did some time in jail, was deterred off his path. And because he was attacked by some other young men, okay, in the street, he wanted to take that route, which was a route that he should not be taking when you're trying to do the right thing. Automatically, I knew the reason why I was in his life. I was in his life to serve my purpose as the servant of the Most High, and to change his mind frame, change his perception, and to give him spiritual counsel of how to handle the decisions that he was trying to make. And because I prayed, I put him in the Most High's hand. I prayed for his protection. I planted seeds in his head of how he was supposed to handle that situation. He made the right decision. He made the right choice. And because he trusted what I said to him, and he chose to have faith in the Most High, even though he said he wasn't spiritual, even though he said he wasn't religious, he chose to put the faith in the Most High and put that issue in the Most High's hand and handle that situation in a different way. And let me tell you, that situation was handled. And that problem is no longer his issue, because he chose to handle that situation in the correct way. It could have went a total different way. And not only am I proud of myself for helping him, but I am so proud of him. I am so proud of him. So now he can continue on his path. And we're not going to say the enemy's not going to try again. But now that I have given him the tools to know how to deal with spiritual attacks, and to know how to deal when the enemy is trying to deter you off your path and your purpose, he knows how to take those tools and apply them to his life if he has another situation. And he's still a work in progress, we all are. But that's just an example of how the enemy can come after you and try to deter you off your path. Now, another thing as well, we can sit up here and say that, oh, people have hits out on them in the 3D. Well, guess what? You can have a hit out on you in the 5D. A spiritual hit where the enemy, your purpose can be so high in this world in your lifetime that the enemy can send out a hit spiritually, where he can send his minions out to work through lower astral human beings to try to get at you. And that's just how the enemy works. And just a little bit about that, I found out that my 16-year-old son had a hit out on him. How I dealt with that, it wasn't easy. I prayed 7, 8, 9 times a day. I fast. And I prayed and I fast and I prayed and I fast and I was celibate. And I made sure I did everything to make sure that I was protected, my son was protected, my family was protected. Because when you are under spiritual attack, it is no joke. The enemy will try to do whatever he can do to either take your life, have you incarcerated, or just bring you down to your knees. So the way how we handle spiritual attacks, well, we got to put those attacks in the Most High's hands. We have to put those attacks in the Most High's hands, because when you are under attack by the enemy, you cannot get in the ring with the enemy and fight the enemy. You can't do that because the enemy knows all of our weaknesses. So how do we handle, so Israelite Queen, how do we handle spiritual warfare, spiritual attacks? Well, for number one, this is my number one answer for everything: prayer. Prayer. You must go into prayer. And when you go into prayer, you want to ask the Most High. Okay? And this is exactly what I want you to say. I want you to ask the Most High. First of all, you want to speak from your heart. Okay? Now, I know there's a lot of us who don't know how to pray. But the best way to pray is when you get on your knees, and you don't have to get on your knees. Sometimes I don't. But you bow your head, you close your eyes, and you speak from the heart. You thank him for everything, of all of your blessings that you have received, and you ask him to protect you. You talk about the issue. You talk about what you are going through. And you ask for protection of your mind, body, and spirit. And you ask for that protection. Ask for your intuition to be strengthened. Ask for discernment of the people that you bring into your life. And when you're done praying, you have faith that that situation will be taken care of by the Most High. Now, you want to go ahead and live by the spiritual laws, which is a whole nother video that I will get into. Okay? You want to go ahead and live by the spiritual laws, because you want to keep the door closed. You don't want to allow the enemy to get in. And there's some spiritual laws that go into that, to keeping that door closed. Okay? That we'll talk about it another time. But that is the number one way to deal with spiritual attack, is when you are under attack by the enemy, you cannot handle that situation by yourself. That situation needs to be put in the Most High's hand, because only he can deal with the enemy. We can't. Our job is to take the problem to him, and to have faith and to trust that that issue will be resolved and handled the correct way. Okay? The correct way, the only way. That's number one. Number two, faith. Now, I know I just talked about it, but faith is number two. Having faith. Faith, what is faith? If we have a grain of, what did he say? If your faith is as big as a grain of salt, that's all the faith that you need. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to worry about the issue. I'm not saying that you're not going to think about it, because I even have anxiety sometimes. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, know that the issue will be handled. Don't continue putting energy into the issue, because our thoughts are energy. And when we constantly think about things, when we constantly think about issues, we are manifesting that, because our thoughts are put out into the universe and they start to manifest. It's energy. So just know that once you pray and you put that issue of your spiritual attack or whatever you are going through to deter you off your purpose and your path, just know it will be handled by the Most High. Just know that. Just have faith that He will bring you through that situation and that issue. Okay? All right. So that's the divinely guided message for today. You guys, I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope this helps you. If you have any questions or if you've been through a spiritual attack, make sure you go ahead and comment in the comment section. And if you really enjoyed this divinely guided message today, make sure you give it a likes up. New subscribers, if you are new to my channel, welcome, like I said, and definitely go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you all for being here with me again. I love you. I love you. I love you. And remember, all it takes is a grain of salt to have that faith in the Most High and trust that He will take care of you. Mwah. Namaste. Bye.